Hey, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing this evening? What's going on? Can you see me? Can you
Can't
see
see
me?
anything.
Can you see
There you
anything?
go.
I know we kind of glitched in today. What's going on, man? How you doing today, Mark?
Still trying to recuperate after a 4 day show weekend in Dallas, man. But I think turned out great. Happy to be here. For some of
Hey,
you guys that don't know, it's to do this show every week. It's grinding, even though it's just one time, right? But we've made a commitment for you guys, and so every time it comes around on Tuesday at 8, 7 Central, we hop on for you guys. So thank you for
yes,
everyone that's chiming in. We appreciate all your support and keep the questions and comments and keep them all coming.
absolutely, man. We really appreciate you guys chiming in. Last week we had a really good guest with Ray Schulte, Mr. Nationals himself. Plan on bringing him back, and we had some cool guests this week. But guess what? Just like every week. Oh, I'm glitchy. I'm glitchy. Hold on one second. Maybe I'm glitchy. Hold on. I'm glitchy.
Man, I think you want to get the better side of you and just freeze it there, man. But yeah, you frozen over there.
Can you hear me
What
okay?
up, Joel? What up, AR?
Am I okay now?
I mean, no.
Hey, so look. All right, so Prism your screen. Yeah, see
Yeah,
everybody
voice
saying
coming
my
in good. Picture not.
okay, so at least you can hear me. So that's good. You can hear me though, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so let's just start off with that. Even if you can't see me, you can hear me. So I'm thankful for the people who are watching. That's cool. Dang, that sucks because I had some giveaways I want to kind of give away, but if you can't see it, then that sucks. Can you
I
see
like
me
the
now?
hat though. By the way,
Oh, so can you see me? Am I back
I
to
can I
normal?
can just feel a steel. You're frozen.
Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna come right. Shoot, can I come right back? I don't know if I
I'm in Houston. I'm supposed to be the one with the messed up internet.
bro. Hey, so look, let me see if I can fix this. Let me see. Give me a second.
Hey, you're supposed to do this stuff before the show, man.
Man, I was trying. You said I was good. Let me see. Is that better?
You got beaten sports card on IG saying you cutting out like an iPhone 4.
Hey, it's funny, man. I appreciate the people who jumping in on Instagram who try this show. Hey, look, man, we trying to get better at it, and sometimes it just takes a little time. But we do got some really topics we want to talk about today. Am I still choppy?
Man, you might as well hang it up, man. I can hear you though.
All right, so give me a second. I'm gonna come right back. Give me a second.
Oh, so for everyone that's still on, man, just want to tell you guys thank you for all the comments that you've been making to some of the excerpts that we've been taking from the podcast. As you can see, Ralph goes in and he replies to each and every one of the comments. I try to go in and take a look at what you guys are posting. And to be honest with you, man, we've hit some of it on the head, but some of it we've been kind of wrong on. So I'm okay with coming on there and bashing us a little bit. Yeah, Ralph, you look really good now.
All
Everything's
right,
coming in
cool.
clear as day.
Yeah.
We're just telling the crowd that we appreciate the comments on a lot of the videos we've been posting, man.
Oh yeah,
Appreciate the
yeah,
back and forth.
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, somebody made a comment talking about my sports, I guess me predicting the sports aspect of it. But hey, as long as Minnesota wins, I don't really care. But guess what? A lot of what we're gonna talk about today, I think, plays a key into what I feel like. But actually, what's funny is a method to my madness at the end of the day. It's like when people used to always say I was good at forecasting like players and how things kind of would work out. I think that's kind of what catered towards my success. And kind of like my logic of what I'm thinking. So without further ado, we want to kind of talk about some of the topics we're going to talk about, which is the Final Four of the NBA. I mean, how are you feeling about it, Mark?
I'll start off in the East. A little disappointed.
Yeah.
Obviously, half of the equation kind of came through. I think that if the Knicks were healthy, I think that they win that series quite easily. But shout out to the Pacers for taking advantage of the situation. I don't know if they're going to be as tough of a test as a healthy Knicks team was, but at least they're full strength. And with them being full strength, we've seen the Celtics be wishy washy before. So I still
Mm-hmm.
out of the East, but really would have liked to see a Knicks Celtics Eastern Conference final.
Yeah, I think I would have liked that aspect too. But the cool thing is this year we get to see a new champion. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's the most intriguing thing. And then the cool thing about it is we're talking about the future of the NBA. We talked about in the past. It's what is that going to look like, and how the cool thing about that is how does that going to affect the hobby? We've already talked about in previous weeks about how Ant-Man has already changed the space, and I ain't gonna lie, I feel like I'm kind of putting the cart before the horse because we're gonna break this thing down, and I think that that's the important part about today's topics is how do you collect. I think one of the topics today is how do you collect and collecting efficiently, and knowing like because I think we pose a question of the new collectors and how collectors are looking, and people have made comments about, oh man, you're not a collector if you're selling cards. Well, guess what? Every card has to be sold at some point in time in life, whether you sell it today, tomorrow, 6 months from now, 10 years from now. So somebody's going to sell that card. Nobody's going to keep anything forever. We can't take it to the grave. So we're going to
We
talk
can.
about. Are you gonna put yours in your coffin?
I mean, it depends on which one it is, man.
Right. So I don't feel like I feel like a lot of the older collectors kind of judge the newer collectors because they're going through the process of flipping cards and buying and stuff like that. So I think that's why it's important that we take on a different take today.
Yeah.
What
Shout
what
out to
else?
Vic, Call the Buyer. Shout out to Downtown Jade. Shout out to Gun Rips, AM Centerpiece, New Beginning Pastor, Kyle, Duval Dimes. Man,
Yep.
we got a lot of people chiming in on IG, man. I like when
And
you post it over there.
hey, I ain't gonna lie, I try to make it very simple that everybody can jump in. But the problem is we gotta get the people from Instagram to jump in on YouTube. So shout out to the people that's on YouTube. So without further ado, I'm gonna do my first giveaway for today. Actually, it's gonna be a really cool card. I got a couple different things we're gonna give away. The first one is going to be an autograph Culture Collision collaboration with Card Carver. You can't really see it. It's autographed. I picked it up in New York, and I don't know. How you want to give it away? I mean, besides
Um,
somebody
uh,
giving it up on YouTube, I want to give it to our loyal fans on YouTube first.
yeah. Well, you know who our loyalist of the loyalist fan is, man. It's Joe, and I know that
Joel,
we have.
you gonna say Joel? Go ahead. Hey, but we got to make it fair though, because I mean, call the buyers on here. We got AR on here. We got a lot of people on here
Hey
in the
man,
chat. Go
hey
ahead.
Joe be like an alarm clock man. Sometimes he be like, man, it's 8 o'clock. How come y'all not live yet? I be like, man,
Hey,
we coming. We got some technical difficulties right now.
there you go. There you go. So, I mean, what you want to think about how we gonna give it away, or you just
Yeah,
want
we'll
how
figure
you
that's the easy part, man, figuring that out. But
hey, go ahead.
I just wanted to say, man, shout out to everybody who is chiming in with us, man. We talked about half of the equation. The other half we'll talk about. We kind of called it. I was really, it's kind of interesting how that pendulum kind of swayed, right?
Yeah.
At first, we were like, man, Ant Man's gonna sweep,
Yep.
right? And then we're like, dang, Ant Man's gonna get swept this
Yep.
next four, right?
Right.
And then they won two, lost two, then won two, right?
Yep.
So shout out to those guys, man, for coming through in the clutch, man. I really like that Detroit. I'm sorry, the Nuggets, Denver Nuggets, actually were very gracious, right?
Yeah.
They understood the assignment. They understood that because they were the defending champs, everyone was coming for them.
Yeah.
And look, if the NBA, if you're not excited for the NBA, man, we had 3 game 7s.
Yeah.
Right, that's the
Yeah.
other thing to kind of shout out, man. So kudos to them. I don't like how I don't like how Denver and Minnesota got to the game 7. Nobody should get blown out by 50 points in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those things where I'm happy that it happened. They did go up like 20, and then they farted that thing away, man. So unfortunate for them. Fortunate for Ant and the gang there. And then on the other side, man, we were sitting there in Dallas in the lobby at midnight, chiming in that game, man, and you could see everybody there in the crowd, around the trade night. Every Dallas shot that went in, man, you know that it was Dallas, and it got real
Yeah.
quiet when OKC started scoring, man. Obviously, we're in Dallas, so that's gonna sway the opinion there. But man, what a game, right?
Yeah.
That
I
game
agree.
is what you would want every playoff game to be.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised it didn't go into overtime. I would have liked to see that, but
Mm-hmm.
man, shout out to the Mavericks for getting it done. I still think Ant Man gets past them. We're going to see Boston and Minnesota in the final.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I know I've been really pubbing Ant-Man, but there's a method to my madness, right? It's because I feel like we've talked about this so many times in the past, but people, you got to understand something. In order for the hobby to grow, we need a new face of the league. LeBron is
Yes.
not going to be here anymore. Stephen Curry's about to be out of here pretty soon. I mean, when I mean pretty soon, we're talking about maybe 3-4 years, right? I mean, LeBron's probably 2 years or less. I mean, who's to say he doesn't retire next week? I mean,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where we're starting to see the changing of the guards. Giannis is, I ain't gonna say he's on a decline, but I remember telling people who were invested in the Giannis, like, I don't say this on podcasts or anything like that because I try not to tell people what to buy. But when I pay attention to what the trends are and what's going on, I mean, Damian Lillard and Giannis, I don't think that situation really works out. I think it ends up becoming more Lillard's team than Giannis's team, and I think he gets kind of overshadowed. But I saw a decline in him, and I really felt like Giannis should have been the new LeBron, right? And it's unfortunate that we didn't see that because I'm team Giannis. I think he's an amazing basketball player. I just don't know if he's the guy for the future of the NBA. And that's why I'm hopeful for people like Ant-Man and hopeful for Luka Doncic. And I'm not really a big fan of Jason Tatum. I would say him, but I know there's some Boston fans out there. So I'm going to say Jason Tatum, even though his game is really boring.
I mean, but if they do find a way to win the championship, though, I think that's the one thing that's been eluding him. I mean,
I
they've
agree with
made
that.
it. Yeah,
I
they've
agree.
made it to the Eastern Conference Finals so many times to be let down.
Yeah.
So I think that they find a way to get there this go around. I mean, obviously they were the best team in the regular season for a reason. But they play a little lethargic and they play under, they play down to their competition because honestly, they got two legitimate superstars in Brown and Tatum that can really carry that team, like you're seeing with Kyrie and Luca.
Man, I really hate that we kind of discredited in Indiana. Indiana, kudos to Indiana for taking on an amazing run by the New York Knicks. But I
You're
ain't gonna
not
lie.
supposed to be here,
I, there you go. That's exactly what I was thinking. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. Indiana's probably one of the luckiest teams in this Final Four. They work really hard. They're playing really well. I ain't gonna lie, but I'm just not excited. I don't think. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that team. And I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't be surprised if they beat Boston.
Yeah. Like
Just
I said, I mean, Cleveland beat them.
yeah,
Right? So, I mean, it's one of those things where, I mean, they have a shot. They made it there for a reason, and they might be the Heat, right? How the Heat did the Celtics last year, where they got hot at the right time, and they squeezed past them. So, I mean, it'd be interesting to see. Like I said, I already. If you circle back to last week, we already put kind of our names in the hat.
yeah,
And we'll see how it unfolds.
yep.
My bracket got busted though with the Knicks not making it.
Hey,
But
exactly.
it is what it is. Hey, but
Yeah,
you said your dark horse was the Dallas Mavericks, so at least they made it too. So you're right on point there.
yeah. See, I couldn't remember who I said, but I'm rooting for team. I wasn't really team Luca, but after seeing years of him playing really well at a high level, and he just barely missed MVP this year, and he barely missed MVP every year. It'll be amazing to see him get his first ring. And shout out to Kyrie Irving for being a good co-captain for him. Man, like that's amazing. So I'm looking forward to that series with Dallas and Minnesota starting tomorrow. Um, I'm not really too excited about the Boston Indiana series. I'm kind of wish we could fast forward. And I mean, I don't know who you think is a better matchup for either team in the West Coast.
Well, look, Bottom Feeder Collectibles said that Pacers are the tougher team. They give matchup problems to the Celtics more than the Knicks would have.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, here's the thing: the Pacers has a lot of depth. The Pacers
Yeah.
have a lot of depth. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do and potentially the finals, and seeing what they do to Boston. So what brings me up to my next topic. I know we kind of hinted on it too as well. Is change is good. Change is good because we can't continue to see the same boring players. And like let's backtrack a little bit because like to a couple Super Bowls ago, right?
Boston in 5.
Boston and 5 AR. I'm sorry, I ain't feeling it, but but check this out. Remember 2 years ago, um, Joe Burrow got to the Super Bowl and he played Matthew Stafford. I felt like I would have loved to seen and I think half of the card space or 90% of the card space would have probably loved to see Joe Burrow win his first Super Bowl in his second year in the NFL. And thinking about change, the reason why change is good is because when Matthew Stafford won, who cared?
Hmm.
The hobby didn't respond.
The Rams fans cared, man.
All right, so the Rams fan cared. Okay, get it. I get that aspect of it. The Rams fans did actually care, but they didn't really affect the hobby too much. If Joe
Yeah.
Burrow wins the Super Bowl, what happens?
Oh man,
You
it
see
was
what I'm
scary.
saying?
What happened? You can't afford these cards.
That's why we need, like, the reason why change is good is we need to be able to see new people win. We need new people to get these accolades to be able to buy at the high level we've been buying at so we can make our hobby sustainable. That's why I'm rooting for these new people because I want to see the change happen. I want to be able to see Joe Burrow get a Super Bowl and he be the only guy to beat Pat Mahomes in the playoffs. And everybody's like, okay, with the help, like if he won 2 years ago and he got injured last year, who you think would be a favorite this year?
Well, the other thing that would be good for the hobby, man, if like baseball, right? Mike Trout was healthy, and then you see him, right, in a playoff series playing meaningful games, but he
Mm-hmm.
can't stay healthy. It's going to be interesting to see if the Dodgers, if they spend all that money to create this super team, honestly, once they get to the playoffs, get bounced, right? I think more people, and I'm a Houston guy, right? So I root against the Dodgers. More people are probably going to be rooting against the Dodgers to win.
Yeah.
But I think that you say change is good, but I think that if the Yankees make it and make a deep run and make it to the World Series, I'm interested to see what that rejuvenation in that market, right, in that big market does to the hobby. Because I mean, you saw glimpses of like Judge starting to go up, and now you're seeing Juan Soto. So I still think that I like the resurgence of the Astros coming from behind here and making a surge. But as a collector, as a fan of the space and of sports, I would really like to see a Yankees Dodgers World Series.
Mm. Well, I've really been following baseballs, but I would probably like to. So I'm probably not the person to ask when it comes to that. So I'm just going to deflect to that.
Yeah.
I know you're a homer. I'm a Sox fan, born and raised, but at the same time, my team suck, and we've been sucking for a while now. Outside of our World Series, when we beat,
Well,
who we
we got
beat.
to change into the guard right now.
Yeah.
And again, I think the Texans, they make a strong run. They've made some great pickups, right? And I'm sounding like a homer here, but I think that they've made a lot of good strides to be the team coming out of coming out of the AFC.
Mm,
NFC, I think it's still up for grabs, but you can't discount a lot of those guys coming out from the NFC.
right.
Well, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting because the 49ers really haven't done anything, right?
No.
So,
Do they need to?
well,
They drafted another wide receiver.
but it'd be interesting to see, like you said, is Burrow going to be healthy? Is Kyler, with the new wide receiver, how he's going to do?
Yeah.
Can the Chiefs keep up with that pace? With the Bills losing their wide receiver, how does that new look Bills team look? We're talking about the front runners. Justin Herbert, to see what he does with his new coach. A lot of talk behind that Chargers team is that they get 4th and 1 and the coach wouldn't know what to do.
Wow.
Sometimes he's supposed to kick the ball, sometimes it was going for it. And if you switch, the what they did, they might have won more games than lost, man. But some exciting young teams in Detroit. Like I said, it's going to be a fun NFL season. We're probably a little bit premature with them just after the draft, right before OTAs. But man, some exciting times in sports. I wish I was more of a hockey fan, because then we'd be talking about that as well and the changing of the guard there.
That's correct. But have you seen the pictures of Bryce Young today?
No, I didn't. What's going on with that?
He's been eating his Wheaties. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh
Look
man,
at
and
those
see,
pictures, man. They got pictures out here of Bryce Young. He looks amazing.
and people ask me, man, like from the draft class from last year, how would I rank, the top 4 quarterbacks, right? We talk about Stroud, we
Ooh.
talk about Young, we talk about AR, and we talk about Will Levis. How would you rank them? And honestly, after Stroud, I honestly put Bryce Young there, right? Because they are
Over
starting to
Anthony
build the
Richardson?
team. Yeah, I do. Me
Yeah, I
personally,
understand. Go ahead.
because this is the weapons. And AR. I mean, it's tough coming in and getting hurt right off the bat. We see it
Mm-hmm.
with Burrow, and for a quarterback to come in and get hurt right off the bat is a little tough. You see what happened with Tua's market. When he had that freak accident. I don't think his market really recovered. I think he still has a solid foundation, but people just aren't running to the to eBay and buying all his cars for premium dollars because
Nope.
they don't know if he's going to be long term healthy.
That's a good. That's actually a good way to kind of pivot to our next topic. But before we do that,
Can't hear you,
I mean, oh, I'm sorry. Hello, is that better?
man. You having all kinds of malfunction, man. I'm gonna need you to get it together. Usually it's me
Hello,
dropping the ball.
is that better? Dang, I'm having
How's
a
ATL feel about Cole's Cash Daddy Kirk?
how ATL feel about Cole's catch.
I can't hear
Oh
you,
man,
Ralph.
I'm sorry.
Oh, maybe it's
Yeah.
my fault. No, you're good. It's on me.
Okay. See, I know I'm not crazy. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
I see what's going on. What's going on, Neptune? What's going on? Shout out to everybody else on Instagram. I'm gonna keep trying to acknowledge everybody online. If you want to be a part of the feed that's online, make sure you click and subscribe on the YouTube channel. We're gonna
What
continue with
up,
these
Damon?
topics, and we got some questions coming up soon. So we're gonna end this topic via change. Thank you, AR. Change is
I
good,
don't want
right?
to hear him, AR. That was a problem.
That's okay. That's okay. All
I
right.
do
So
like your
change.
hat though, man. I do.
Oh,
I don't even like the White Sox that much.
I know.
But I would wear that hat.
Oh, I bet. I know. I know. I know.
I think they
It's
have an Astros one like it, so I'll just pick up the Astros version of it.
it is pretty clean. Shout out to Chewy. So with change is good. I would love to see the future of the NBA be given to Ant-Man, Luca, Shy. Uh, I mean, you can
I
keep
think it's up for
going.
grabs. I mean, that's the exciting
I
part
don't
of it.
know, bro, because here's the thing, right? And this is why I felt like we were gonna switch topics, but this is important. You have to have someone with the charisma of Jordan, of
Yeah.
LeBron, right? It's charisma, man. You enjoy, like, bro, Derrick Rose. I literally was talking to someone today about the fact that Derrick Rose sports cards still sell for, actually, Derrick Rose cards sell for more than what they sold for in 2007,
No,
2008.
no,
Yes, they
no,
do. Yes,
they
they
don't.
do. Yes, they
They
do.
don't.
I'm gonna tell you something. In 2007, I bought Two SP Authentics. This was like when I was like dibbling dabbling in the space. I wasn't even really knowing what I was doing. 2007, I bought, well, probably 2008. I bought a two Derrick Rose SP Authentics and a refractor gold refractor. I'm sorry, the refractor auto Derrick Rose. I can't remember what I paid for him. Probably like $1,400.
Well, here goes the deal. The dollar was
But
worth more then than it is now. So
okay, and that's fine. But look, a PSA 8 Derrick Rose SP Authentic just sold for $750. That's more
yeah,
than what I
but
paid then, and it peaked at $5,000.
yeah.
I'm just saying. All I'm saying is Derrick Rose is still loved by the space, and I think it's
Why
important
wouldn't he
to
be?
have
I mean,
someone.
but he's another one of those. If he stayed healthy, part of the
But you,
reason why LeBron is so great, outside of just his natural, God given abilities, is longevity,
yeah,
right? Like he doesn't get to 40,000 points if he's hurt. He doesn't get there, and
mm,
so just the fact that he was able to kind of sustain this long at the clip that he's running at. I mean that it just attributes to his greatness. So shout out to him for taking care of himself, man, and just avoiding that freak injury
mm,
that plagues so many superstars over the way. I mean, look at Ja.
mm-hmm,
Ja's on the front step of being the face, right there with Morant and with Anthony Edwards. I'm sorry. So it's going to be exciting to see what they do next year.
it will be. I pray to see a Ja Morant versus Ant-Man in the Western Conference Finals. I think that's going to be something amazing. But you know what though? I'll kind of like backtrack a little bit before I go that deep. Did you see what happened at the end of Game 7 versus Minnesota versus Denver?
When that man started waving to the crowd,
Yeah, Joker didn't like that. Joker didn't like that. So, are we going to see another? You know what's funny? The first round out for Minnesota was Denver last year. So to take them out, now, after they won the championship, I think it's amazing to see. And then to see what happened at the end of that game, I think it's safe to say that we're going to see Denver. I don't think Denver's done yet. I think Denver's going to get better. They're going to make some adjustments. They're going to be, because I can't really say Joker's not a face of the league. He's been in MVP contention for the last 5 years.
man, if I was looking, and I've been watching a lot more basketball
Yeah.
this playoffs than I have been. And I think the one thing that's turned me off about basketball in general is all the crying, man, all the flopping. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
I miss the old days where people were getting hit hard to the floor and just get up and shut up and get them back on the other end. So I think that if we were to take all the crybaby out, because I think Denver was a lot better team where they weren't chasing and crying for fouls the whole time,
Yeah.
right? They just went in and they just concentrate on doing their job rather than chasing fouls. So I think that's what's actually caused the downfall in like LeBron's market is like they phantom hit him, air swipe in his vicinity, and he's throwing himself to the ground like he just got punched in the nose. So I
Mm-hmm.
hate to see that in this game that we have, like a game that I love seeing growing up. I hate all the flopping and the crybaby crap that happens on a game to game basis.
Mm-hmm. All right. So look. So I wanted to kind of pivot a little bit because I know we've been talking about this topic for a little bit. Joel says it's scary that Ant-Man is only 22 years old. I agree with that. I mean, Ant-Man is definitely scary at that age. So next topic I kind of want to talk about is how to be an effective collector. Hmm.
Hey man, we posted that video, right? That excerpt from last week, and
Yep.
PC, and what's a PC, and how many people, how long do they hold their PCs? And it's interesting the dialogue that we got from it. It's almost like we lifted up the rock, and there the true collectors were hiding underneath that rock,
Yep.
and it was interesting to see like that conversation and that dialogue from the audience on how they felt about it. And here we think we're only a small fraction of the space, and so we can only see what's right in front of us. But it was interesting to see all the true collectors that kind of shine their light
Yep.
on the topic.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely was great to see the guys talk. I mean, yeah, I get there's going to be people who are going to keep cards forever, but I think that there has to be a way to be an effective collector. It's two different takes in my opinion. I mean, I think the new collector is different because I think the new collector can't afford exquisite. It's just it's too far out the grasp, right? Unless you're coming in a millionaire. And then even then, you know how it is, Mark. You will find people who have a rare exquisites who won't sell even if you tell them a crazy number, right?
Yep.
You're talking about the Titleist exquisites that you never see. I mean, Sean owns two now. He posts about them, and he had to probably pry his hands or come across something that was so rare to be able to pull it out of somebody else's hands. I mean, it's stuff that you will probably even never see. I think right now we see I think it's the Michael Jordan logo man is running on Golden right now. But where's the LeBron at?
Yeah.
You know,
Hasn't even been pulled.
has it been pulled? We don't even know where it's at. Is it in someone's collection? I mean, the reason why I think talking about effective collecting is important, right? Is because if you bought a Michael Jordan PSA 10 Rookie Flair 86 rookie card and you bought it and let's just say you bought it in the 90s, what did you pay for it, you think?
$1,000.
So a PSA 10 Jordan in 2000, let's just say in the 90s, you paid $1,000 for it,
There
right?
was no PSA 10s for a long time. For a
Okay.
long time, right?
All
All
right.
you could get was BGS 95s.
Okay. So if a PSA 10 essentially cost you $1,000 in the 90s, right? Let's just say early 2000, whatever, 90s, you pay $1,000 for it. You fast forward to 2021. What was the max sale?
750.
So you bought a car for $1,000, and you mean to tell me because we literally have quotes of people telling us that I bought cars I'll never sell. You bought a car for $1,000 and it peaked at $700,000. You wouldn't sell it.
It's gone. I was gonna be gone at 350.
All right. So check this out. The reason why I brought that point up is because there's you know how many PSA 10 Jordans there are?
There's a lot now.
So let's just say you think there's 1,000?
There's a lot. I don't know what the but don't get me lying, man.
Okay. So hypothetically speaking, you bought the car for $1,000 in the 90s and you sold it for $700,000. What can you buy that car for right now?
150.
So how much money did you make?
Made enough.
So the point of what I'm saying is I think effective collecting you have to figure out what's actually worth holding on to and what's actually worth selling.
But you're talking about a 1 in a billion
Yeah.
chance, right? That
No,
don't happen all the time. How many Jonathan Isaacs did you pick up thinking that he was going to be the next Jordan, right?
I agree.
How many people, what's that Bennett guy that got drafted by Cleveland right before LeBron? Like how many of those guys did we see? And I mean there's countless stories like Dwight Howard. Like Dwight Howard when he came out in
Yeah.
2004, his exquisite cards were through the roof. And everybody thought, oh
Agreed.
man, he's gonna be the next Shaq. He's gonna do this. He's gonna do that. I mean, you can go pick up his numbers piece for like $500 right now,
I
right?
agree.
So there is a tale, right, of holding the right player for the right amount of time,
Correct.
and then capitalizing on when you think. I mean, we talk about it all the time. It's the cards are the stock market, right?
Mm-hmm.
When to buy, when to sell. Like
Yep.
if you're coming into the space and you're saying, "Well, I'm gonna buy a card. I'm gonna keep a card. It has a story. It has a meaning to me. I will buy, sell, whatever. I will never sell this card because." It has a special meaning to me. Like I don't care if I lose money on it, but man, if a card went from 1,000 to 750,000, man, I don't know, man. That card's gonna probably be gone. I don't know how many shows I've done with Windy City Sports Cards. Shout out to Gerald, where he don't take all his cards with him to the shows, right? And a lot of that reason is because right after COVID, right, everything was going for a crazy number, right? He could literally a card that he bought for like maybe $5,000, right? Just throw that out there. He would go to a show and he would say, "Man, the last one did 30,000. I'm gonna put it on the table and I'm gonna ask 100, right?" And then people would come up and he say 100 and they say sold. And he's like, oh, right? He didn't price it high enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, he's really reluctant to take his stuff out because sometimes you don't know where to price it at because a lot of the stuff you just haven't never seen resurface in like 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So shout out to the people who do have the grails, the museum collections, right,
Yeah.
as we call them, that are able to kind of make those decisions, right, those tough decisions. So shout out to them.
So all right. So I want to stick with the topic here and say how can we become more effective collectors? Because here's a theory in my mind, right? You buy a Jordan for $1,000, and in 2000, let's say 2021, you sell it for 700,000. You buy another one back currently in today's market at $150,000, right? What else can you invest in that maybe is a little bit more rare? Like maybe you buy an exquisite LeBron.
Well, we try to do that, and we try to do that in Dallas this weekend.
Well, I mean, but I'm just saying, like, think about this. Like, LeBron exquisites are numbered to 99.
That
Jordans are not numbered.
what's
And
not? Oh, the rookie cards.
yeah, the
Yeah,
rookie
but
card.
did you see what that XRC just did?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a different game though, right? So because if you sold it in 2021, you're not getting today's numbers on that card.
No.
But what happened with that card?
Yeah, well, people started to realize what his true rookie card was. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's what happened there. And the other thing that helps that card out is that PSA just started grading that card again.
Yeah,
Right? There was a part where they didn't know if they were grading it. So the fact that a PSA 9 just did 925,000, that's crazy.
that is
That's crazy,
crazy,
man. Imagine what a PSA 10 of that card would do.
man. That's crazy. So I say Twisted Core Card Pool says, "Yo, Prism God, you coming to Midwest Monster? More than likely, yes. I think the same weekend is a Detroit show, and I'll probably be there too." Um, let's see how to become an effective collector. How does a new person become an effective collector? Be fact, like
I think
get rid of the like, I didn't buy a car for 1,000, right? Because now we're cycling over. Like, how does a new person become an effective collector?
I think that gambling actually has a big take on sports right now, right? And through that, like fantasy sports. And I think that if they're doing good on the field, and if you're just a casual guy and you don't even collect cards, right? I think that if you look at the fantasy aspect and the performances of these, athletes, I think it'll kind of tell the same tale, and it translates well into the hobby, right? So even if you watch or you're a casual fan in that regard of sports cards, but you like it because of sports. I think that that's a way to do it, right? And that just goes back to being educated of the players and what they're doing on the field. Obviously, if you buy into a card too late, right, their ceiling is already there, and it's almost impossible to, make the 2x, the 3x from there if you're buying high. That's why a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people, as you can see right now, you see the Ant-Man market going up. And a lot of people are starting to buy him because they're trying to make sure that they don't get caught at the ceiling, right? And then the off season comes and it starts dropping and they lose a butt ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting to see how high that elevator goes. And then it will answer the question in regards to the effectiveness of that approach.
So
But it just takes research, I think.
let's use that as an example. Um, I know a couple of different people on podcasts have mentioned sell Ant-Man, sell Ant-Man.
Well, if you
I,
have them, sell,
yeah,
right?
I mean you'll make money right now, right?
Yeah, it's
But
the
if
same
you're
thing. So if you saw like the BGS 9 um, National Treasures out of 99, right
mm-hmm,
before the playoffs, I think that his out of 99 was doing BGS 9 did like 20, 30K,
yeah,
right? After they beat and who did they sweep? They swept what did they sweep first round?
who Ant-Man?
Minnesota. Yeah.
I can't even remember the team.
It felt like it's been so far so long
I'm
ago.
tired, man. I'm tired. I
The
can't. I
the
can't
Suns.
remember.
The Suns.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's right. That's right. That's
All
right.
right.
Hard to
And
forget.
so after they beat the Suns, that card went for like 60K. So it
Mm-hmm.
doubled. It doubled. And obviously the entry point on that card was high, right? It's not for
Yeah.
the casual consumer. But if you looked at Prism Silvers, they were going for like 500-600 bucks. Now they're
Mm-hmm.
doing 15, 16, 1700 bucks.
Yep.
So again, if you believe in a player, and some people think that it's the end of the season, and I heard that a lot. The NBA's done, right? I'm done buying NBA, right? But I think Ant-Man put like a little pause on that because of what you're seeing with the prices. A player
Well,
can get hot in the playoffs, and you'll see a big jump in their prices.
so as a collector, and I want to that's why I want to stay on topic with the effective
Oh,
collecting.
oh,
No, it's what you said was important though, because you gave a lot of good tips there. But I think that so one of the things I used to do is, and I probably don't mention, I never really mentioned this on podcast before, but I used to buy high, buy low, buy high, buy low. If I like a
yep,
player, I buy high, buy low. The biggest multiplier is going to be a base card. You buy it for $1, you sell it for $20. Well, not many multipliers like that. You could have bought 100 Ant-Mans for $10 each, and you just literally just mentioned that PSA 10 base cards went from, I'm sorry, PSA 10 silvers went from a couple $100 to now 3 times your money.
yep.
So realistically, if you bought, let's just say you bought a National Treasures card, you paid $20,000 for it, but then you turn around and bought 10 base silver PSA 10 silvers for $500. To me, effective, to me, that's what I'm gonna say, to me, effective collecting is getting rid of the PSA 10 silvers and maybe holding tight to the National Treasures, because but then again, it's like, I don't know, I'm kind of torn, because that's where that torn aspect, because I really like being a collector, but it's like, is there an opportunity to sell it right now and then turn around and buy it back at the end of the year?
Yeah, well, I mean, it just if they win the championship this year, obviously in the off season, there's going to be a drop. There's always a drop,
It
right?
is. Joel said it.
And
If you
so
think it's rare, it keeps its value. I agree.
yeah, and so even Prism Silver, like backtrack, raw Prism Silvers were selling for $100.
Yeah.
Okay, if you grade those jokers and they become a PSA 10, you just turned $100 into $1,700,
Yep.
right? Or even if you bought one for $100 and you sold it right now, they're worth 350 bucks,
That's
right?
correct.
So you just tripled your money, right? So there's different entry points into this, but again, it all depends on the player, right? It all depends on their marketability. Like we talk about the new face of the league,
Yep.
which Anthony Edwards is making a really good argument that he's the new face of the league right now.
I agree. I agree.
And so you just got to look at that, right? You look at what again? Well, Juan Soto was doing in with the Yankees, getting that fresh start over there. You look at, in my opinion, a resurgence of Kyler Murray when he got the wide receiver.
Wide
You look
receiver
at
Marvin Harrison.
like
Yep.
you just like you just said, Bryce Young's been eating his Wheaties this off season, right? And he was a buy, like he was neck and neck
He's
with
still
Bryce
cheap.
Young. He was neck and neck with Bryce Young, right? And then you
You
look
mean
at
CJ? You talking about
Bryce Young was neck and neck with CJ Stroud. He was
CJ
actually
Stroud? Yeah.
outselling CJ Stroud for a long time.
Yep.
And then AR took over the 2 spot, and
Yep.
Bryce Young kind of fell back a little bit. And so you look at those guys, and then you look at, like you said, you look at John Morant coming back from injury next year, and hopefully they find a couple pieces. You look at the Mellow Ball, right? We talk about that, right? And I don't want to give out too many
Mm-hmm.
gems, right? I don't want to push too many people in the wrong direction, but at the same time, like that dude's a baller too, right? So
Absolutely.
it's just about understanding the dynamic of the different leagues,
Yeah.
and kind of there has to be some gut, right? There's going to be a gamble aspect of it too, because I mean, just like there's the Ant-Mans of the world, there's the um, Paulo Banchero. Like Banchero went the wrong way. Like,
Yep.
how does Banchero have the playoff run that he has on a team that hadn't been relevant in a long time, and his prices go down?
We talked
Like, how
about
does that
that
happen?
last week. I mean, no, we talked about it a couple weeks ago, where we talked about players who have not, their prices on their performance haven't really been baked in. The Donovan Mitchells, the Paulos, right? It's even you could put Jason Tatum in that equation. Jaylen Brown's big on it, but I think his prices are starting to kind of get close to what Jason Tatum's are, and like, man, but he still got a while to go. I don't even think he might not be as close as I'm thinking, but he should be, because they're almost essentially the same person, you
Yeah.
know. It's really interesting to see that take, but you're absolutely right when it comes to that. I mean, I think that with this topic of how to become an effective collector, I'm more so trying to talk about the fact that, okay, if I buy high, buy low as my strategy, now I can afford to keep the next exquisite LeBron, which is the national treasures Anthony Edwards, because now I mitigated my risk. Because now if I bought 50 PSA 10 silvers for $500 and I'm selling it for 1,500 to 1,700, essentially what I did there was make up the money that I probably spent on the national treasures, and then now I get to keep the rarity, as Joel mentioned in the comments. I get to
So
keep the
let me
better
ask a
stuff.
question,
Go ahead.
because there's a lot of people who took their gut, right? They bought into the hype, like the Zion hype, right? So let me ask you a question. What has to happen in the Zion market for it to come back to maybe 50% of what his market share was, and maybe get some collectors that are heavily invested in him? What have to happen for him in order for us to see that increase? I mean, does it have to be a championship, or does it have to just be
No,
relevancy in the
no,
playoffs?
not at all. Not. I think Zion has enough money that's been spent on him, and I think what he's shown this year is that he can play. He can play a whole season minus the last game. I think he. I don't think he needs an MVP run, Joel. I don't think he needs that. I think he needs to show us he can play a whole season, get to the playoffs, and make a playoff run. Right? If bro, let's be real. If they play Denver, it might have been a different. It might have been a different situation. It could have been a different situation, right? Because I mean, I think who was the team that they beat out the Lakers, right? I think it's what
Yeah.
they beat out the Lakers for that spot. So if they
Well,
beat
the
out the
Lakers beat them out. Well,
yeah
Lakers beat, yeah.
yeah, I think they beat them out or whatever. So if if Zion's playing and he's healthy in the playoffs, I mean, I think he plays well, bro. He balled he balled in that last game he played versus the Lakers. He beat them. He beat them by himself. I think that's why he went back to the locker room upset. Which I hate to see him. I hate to see his waddle man on the way out. It's really funny, but at the same
But does he
time
have to
though,
get traded?
no, I don't think so. I don't think
Or
so.
does he have to go to the Knicks?
No, I don't think so. But it'd be nice though because it would be nice though because I'm thinking in my mind like I don't think Julius Randle's the solution for New York. I think that I would really like to see. I would like to see. I wouldn't mind seeing Zion in the Knicks uniform. I'm sure New Yorkers would love to see Zion, especially with the performance of their team they just had this year. Think
Yeah.
about a
Give
healthy
me another team.
Zion with a good defense. Because we haven't seen great defense from Zion, but this is probably the best year he defensively stepped up. I
Yeah.
remember earlier this year we were watching Zion average 20-some points with 2 rebounds, with 3 rebounds. Charles Barkley made a comment like, "What are you doing? You a big man? You ain't getting no rebounds." Towards the end of the year, his game changed. He started getting rebounds. He started playing defense. He started to become a different player and be more impactful, which is something I think that we've been waiting for Zion. And I honestly think that next year we're going to see he might be a good buy too. But I mean, I'm not telling people what to do, but
Yeah.
I think that people like
I'm
him,
just talking about an effective. I think
yeah,
honestly, this off season is going to be like there's been some pretty heavy anticipated seasons where we saw a lot of movement in the off season.
yeah,
And I'm really excited to see what happens in this off season. Like superstars, like fringe superstars, like Cade Cunningham, right? You
Cade
have
Cunningham, yep.
Jalen Green. They have too many guards there, and they have another top pick. The Rockets do. Trey
They'll
Young,
probably
does
get
he
another
get moved?
guard.
Yeah, does Trey Young get moved? Right? Does he go to San Antonio? And now we see Trey Young and Wimby connection. Like, does Curry? Does he just bite the bullet and stay at Warriors for the rest of his life, or does he get
Yep.
traded? Right. So, like I said, it's going to be a heavily anticipated offseason to me. It's going to be really exciting, and then it brings us into the NFL, where, man, I want to see a healthy Joe Burrow. Right. I want to
Yeah.
see a healthy, Justin Herbert to see what he does, a healthy Kyler Murray. And I'm just talking about wide receivers right now, but quarterbacks, I'm sorry. But there's also some good wide receivers and running backs out there in new homes, like Saquon Barkley going over to the Eagles, which was, I don't know how you go from, one of your biggest, rivals. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But it's some exciting times in the sports world that translates over to the hobby, man.
Yeah, I agree. All right. So, what ways do you do effective collecting? Are you collecting right now?
Um, well, yeah. But it's a local guy, and it's because it has a story. It's a connection to myself, and it's a way for me to pay homage to him, because I am proud of him. And it's Trey Foutine, plays single A baseball for the Cincinnati Reds organization. Met him in person. Really nice kid. Know his dad. My son played for his his dad for the same travel ball organization. So to me, collecting comes with the story. In order for me to be a collector, I don't care what the price is, whether it goes up and down. To me, it's more important to
Sound like
have
the
the
people in
card
our
and tell the
feed,
story.
man. So nobody says so. Somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, $50,000 for that super fractor. What you gonna do?
Pass,
Pass?"
pass, pass.
So you're just like the people in the comments, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I didn't get the card because of what it was worth or what it could potentially be worth. Right?
Okay.
I'm not investing. Right? So that's the thing. Right? And
This
I
is
think
what I
that's
was
the
trying to get
important thing.
out, but you wasn't saying this. This is what I was trying to get out. You wouldn't say it. I have to ask a different question for you to talk about this. This is what I'm saying. I need you to say why, like, I need you to resonate with the people who are on that post saying, I bought that car, I bought that Jordan PSA 10 for $1,000 in the 90s, and I don't care it went for $700,000. I'm gonna keep it. And now it's worth 150.
Yeah. Well, if it's about paying off my house with the card, man, I'm gonna sell that
Oh,
card though.
so you would so it's safe to say if your car got to $700,000, then you would move it then.
But then we're gonna scratch a little bit of these gray hairs right here. We're gonna have a conversation with baby, and we're gonna be like, hey man, we can pay off the house if I sell this one card. It's gone.
There you go. So all right, so that's effective
But see, but
collecting.
that's also a bad thing though, right?
Yeah,
I think the 750,000 was a good thing, but it was also a bad thing because
yeah,
after that $750,000 sale, we flooded the market, and after
yeah. I
that, we
agree.
haven't seen that $750,000 come back.
Was because 1,000 people said I bought the car for $1,000 and was like, I'm gonna sell it for 700,000. That's exactly what happened. I'm because trust me, if I tell my wife I bought a car for $1,000 and I sold it for $700,000, please believe my wife is gonna be like, you know what? You need to go ahead and sell that card, or you better sell
Because
the
of the
car before I
logic,
kill you.
though. But because of the logic,
Yeah.
sell high, buy low, right? And a lot of the times when you're selling cards like that, like the $750,000 PSA 10 1986 Fleer Jordan, you have it with the mindset of I can buy it back cheaper, right? Which if the story kind of played itself out, it sold for $750,000, and then you can buy it right now for 150. So
Mm-hmm.
that story kind of holds true.
And I think that's where I think that's why I was kind of alluding to with the effective collecting. I think that if you look at the fact that there was, if I knowingly bought a car for $1,000 and I saw there was 1,000 people that owned it, I feel like it was my obligation at that point to sell it for 500,000. I literally met a guy who owned. I mean, he said he owned 4 PSA 10 Jordan rookies, and he literally got cashed out like $600,000. So at $600,000, you have to sell. You have to sell that, and then now
I
you're
think
into the rest.
I
You
think
but you
Protein, the
but
owner of Protein, has like 20 or 30 of them.
yeah, but here's the thing though. I would have to sell at least half of them. I think I would sell all of them. If I had owned 20 of them, I'd sell 15 of them, keep five. And I sold them at $600,000 each. I keep five. And then if you decide you want to buy those back, you can think about that. You got a couple millions of dollars, like $10 million. Now you can go back and go buy 10 of them for $1 million
Yeah.
or 1.5. Now you still have 8.5 left. That's smart logic to me. That's to me effective collecting because there has to be something that it has to make sense. And to me, that made sense. I mean, I know it wasn't great for the hobby, but to me, that's effective collecting. And I think that at some point in time, as the younger collectors get into the space and they want to figure out what their next grail is going to be or how they're wanting to collect, I think it's important for them to understand effective collecting. Like, yeah, it's important to get the things that you love, but I think knowing when to buy, when to sell, and when to buy back in is a smart thing to be able to figure out. I think that's kind of where I'm kind of going to conclude it at. What do you think?
1,000%, man. Right? A collector will become an investor real quick if the
Mm-hmm.
price hits the right point. But honestly, it'll take something that um, just that extraordinary to actually make a dent. And obviously, in that aspect of it, we'll never know because there's only one superfractor. So
Hey, there you go. All right, so look, so without being, I guess the next topic is we only have a couple minutes, and I gotta take the wife out tonight, so I gotta be prompt. So this week we're gonna talk about pickups of the week. I'm not sure if you have any pickups. You got any
hey
pickups?
man, my pickup went to PWCZ, man.
Oh wow, so man, I have a pickup. I picked up. I haven't posted it yet. Picked up the LeBron Exquisite Noble nameplates.
Yeah.
2000, I think it's 2008 Noble nameplates. So that's
Got
one of the
something
pickups.
cool though.
Yeah, go ahead.
LeBron patch, game
Oh
worn.
yeah, I seen that. Yep, I saw
Yeah,
that.
you don't see too many LeBron Heat game worn patch cards, man. So that's a cool one.
Yeah, so that was my picks up of the week. You also, I kind of want to keep this thing going with pickups of the week because I want to kind of talk about some of the collectible aspect of the hobby, especially some of the things that we're picking up, some of the things that we love. I mean, to me, I'm collecting right now. I'm collecting differently. I'm trying to focus less on expensive cards and more on just like you talked about the storytelling,
Yeah,
inexpensive
people like to hear the
cars
story,
that
man.
resonate with me. Like I don't want to have to like honestly, like I'm giving one of these. I'm giving like two or three of these away tonight. This is cool because it's a story. It's about Culture Collision and Card Carver. It's art. I think it's an amazing thing that he did. I didn't really have to, do too much. He came up with all the creative stuff. This is one of the cards. This is the Mickey Mouse one, Bo Jackson card. He also did a Wemby. He also did a Wemby cracked ice. It's a really beautiful card. And then I think the third card was the Bart Simpson. Looks like a Flair metal card. I don't have it in my hand right now, but it's one of the dopest cards I think he did. So I think we got to figure out a way to give out a couple cards. I'll probably
Well,
do
you
one of
had
the Bart
three of
Simpson
them,
next
and
week.
we have three subscribers over here. That've been hanging out with us. So definitely AR, definitely Joe.
Hey, there we go. Hey, so the people who are actually watching right now live on the stream, I know it's three. We had a couple people come and go, but guess what? The people that stuck it out, we're just gonna give you one of these options. So is there a particular way? Because I have one person gonna get the Wemby, so we'll just do this. The other oddball end's gonna get these two. The prize person is gonna get the Wemby cracked ice autographed by Card Carver by answering one question. See if you guys have been paying attention. First person to tell me who my dark horse was to win the championship this year.
You don't even know who it was, man.
I said the first person to tell me my dark horse for the championship in the YouTube chat can get the Wemby cracked ice autograph. Oh, shout out to Joel. Joel was paying attention. Joel is paying attention. Hey, I'm sorry, man. AR, you were like 4 seconds late. 4 seconds late. Shout out to Joel. Send me an AR. You definitely win the second one. You'll win the since you actually. I'll give you the blue ink because the blue ink actually is dope. The other one's silver ink, Mickey Mouse. William, you're third. Hey, William, appreciate you jumping in last minute. You've been watching. Make sure you guys send me your address and everything on Instagram, Prism_God. Joel, send me your, I think you won something last time, so I'm pretty sure I got your address. But send me your information. I'm gonna ship this stuff out to you guys next week. Join us. We'll have some more giveaways. Trying to make it exciting, man. Try to do something different. What you think?
Yeah, I got to give away a brand new pair of Jordan 1s.
Oh shoot, we giving away Jordan 1s. Hey, look, I ain't gonna lie to you. I got a lot of stuff in this house that I probably wouldn't mind giving away. So I'm probably gonna do some really cool things, man. We'll try to do some cool giveaways. We're gonna have some exciting guests. We got lined up. We still have lined up DJ Ski. We got Jess from Bleecker that's gonna be popping up. We have I have a young kid entrepreneur who wants to jump on the show. Let me say the name. Let's see. Let me see 1 second here.
Ticket to Culture Collision 3.
Aaron. His name is Aaron. His name is Tropic Collects. So Tropic Collects is actually going to drop in. This is a young kid entrepreneur. We'll probably have him chime in. Keep it up, y'all. Doing some great. Appreciate that, William. And all the people that are watching on Instagram, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel on Instagram. On YouTube. And next week, we're going to have some special guests. I know we're going to have the young kid on. Hopefully, we'll have Jess from Bleecker. If not, DJ Ski. Who else we had? We got a couple people. Cage Lawyer at some point in time. So anybody that you guys want to see jump in on the chat, Jeff Wilson, anybody else, make sure you guys send them our way. I'll reach out to them, see if we can bring them on here and have some fun and talk to them about the space. All right. On that note, if anybody has any questions. Oh, safest. Oh, shoot. I had another topic. Safest collectibles and why. Dang. I forgot about this topic. You want to hold this off to
Keeping it
next
quick.
week?
Quarterbacks in football. Pick one.
Safest
Pick one of
collectibles and
the.
why?
Go to the top 10 quarterbacks in
Oh, Patrick
football.
Mahomes is not even a question. We'll probably break this down a little bit more next week. I actually forgot about this topic, so I apologize. Safest collectibles and why I'm going to say Pat Mahomes, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, and shoot, Tom. I would say Tom Brady, but I feel like his prices are still like I feel like they're declining because he's not playing.
Yeah, very much declining.
He's not playing. It's like I don't know what we got to do to get Tom Brady some love, but maybe I don't know. It's crazy.
Well, he's going to be on air, so he's going to be more in the mix this upcoming season. I think he's signed on with Fox, and so we'll see him on the broadcast team. So I think that'll help.
All right. So without further ado, we're basically an hour out. Join us next week, 8 p.m. on the channel. We appreciate Joel, William, AR for jumping in the chat. Call to buyer, everybody that's jumped in. Appreciate everybody watching on Instagram as well, man. Appreciate you guys, and we're gonna keep bringing some content out. Hey, there you go, AR. So you know, it's some gems out here. We definitely talking about a whole lot. If you guys have any questions before we leave, any questions?
Yeah, you fishing over there, man. You always got to reel me back in.
I'm trying not to. Any questions, guys? Two goats, stay blessed. Appreciate you. All right, so on that note, good night.
Enjoy your dinner, man.